Hello everyone, and welcome to my SW24 update channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Fans of Sister Wives see proof that Robyn Brown was behind everything? While there have been numerous rumors that Sister Wives actress Robyn Brown is pulling the strings behind Kody Brown's decisions, fans now have proof. In the most recent show, viewers were tipped off and quickly realized Robyn was manipulating the family. Robyn Brown's ties are binding. In the January 26th episode of Sister Wives, Robyn Brown reflects on her history while enjoying a day in Coyote Pass. Although Kody and Robyn aren't quite ready to say goodbye to the land, they're making the most of it. Kody discussed the amazing gift Robyn's stepfather, Paul Sullivan, had prepared for the family. They were refurbishing picnic tables that they had used in Las Vegas to bring their families together. However, followers had discovered additional evidence that leads them to believe Robyn Brown was responsible for all that happened with the Browns. Robyn Brown, a Sister Wives star, discussed her strong relationship with her dad Paul Sullivan, which provided a lot of insight into some of the family's decisions. Fans knew Paul worked as an assistant city surveyor for the state of Nevada in Las Vegas. On Reddit, others speculate that Robyn was behind it all. Robyn's sudden transfer from Lehi, Utah, to Las Vegas, Nevada, appears to have been prompted by a close connection she had there. Similarly, a user points out that when the family moved to Flagstaff, Arizona, Dayton Brown planned to attend college there. Despite the fact that leaving made several of the other children quite unhappy, the family decided to relocate. However, with every small suggestion, it appears like Robyn's wishes were honored above the other wives. Other fans weigh in. Another Sister Wives viewer recalls Lehi's quick move as being exceedingly weird. While they were concerned the authorities would come at any time, they chose an unusual city to relocate. Others join in when the initial poster notes that the number of indications pointing to Robyn Brown is quite suspicious. It appears that this is more than just a coincidence. Some admirers believe that Robyn planted seeds for the concept to reappear as Kody Brown's. Similar to how Christine Brown-Woolley explained that Robyn made Mary believe that the legal marriage was her idea, below is a comprehensive, single-paragraph analysis exploring the controversy and fan theories surrounding the claim that Robyn Brown's father has been behind an allegedly unfair property division within the complex dynamics of the Brown family, as depicted on Sister Wives. Over the past few seasons, viewers have increasingly speculated that hidden family forces. This theory is based on a combination of observed discrepancies in how assets have been allocated, inconsistencies in financial disclosures made on camera, and off-camera revelations that have occasionally surfaced during interviews or reunion specials, giving viewers the impression that the property split did not adhere to what was once promised as an equitable distribution. Critics contend that decisions involving real estate and other important assets appear to favor a specific narrative of stability and control, conveniently ignoring the concerns of individuals who may be perceived as less influential within the family hierarchy. They point to specific instances in which Robyn's father, whose involvement in family financial affairs has long been a source of speculation, appears to have wielded disproportionate influence over key decisions, skewing the property division process in a way that undermines the principles of fairness and transparency that many fans believed were fundamental to the family's original vision. These concerns are exacerbated by the fact that the show's narrative, which is frequently shaped by editing choices and selective storytelling, has given many viewers the impression that the Brown family's internal financial arrangements are not only opaque but also manipulated to reinforce certain power structures, with Robyn's father emerging as a central figure in this controversy. Supporters of this viewpoint argue that his role in the property division was motivated by long-standing family dynamics, in which elder authority figures have historically wielded significant power over asset management and inheritance decisions, and that his actions are seen as an extension of that traditional influence, albeit one that has been exacerbated by the demands and dramatization inherent in reality television. They observe that what was once considered a private family matter has now become a public spectacle, with each new episode and interview serving as fodder for debate on social media platforms and fan forums, where the narrative of unfair property division has evolved into a broader commentary on how power is exercised within non-traditional family structures. Some fans argue that the alleged unfairness is demonstrated by disparities in property allocation that do not correspond to individual contributions or the apparent sacrifices made by each member, implying that the show's glossy exterior conceals a more complicated web of financial maneuvering and personal favoritism. These viewers argue that while some family members worked hard to secure their share of the assets, others appear to have benefited from preferential treatment, an outcome that, according to this line of reasoning, can be directly linked to Robyn's father's influence, whose strategic decisions may have been designed to preserve a particular image of unity and control within the family. According to this interpretation, property division is more than just an administrative or financial matter. It is a symbolic representation of deeper issues such as generational power dynamics, the interplay between personal loyalty and economic necessity, and the impact of external pressures from producers and network executives who want to maintain high ratings by instilling internal conflict and dramatic tension. Indeed, several online commentators have pointed to instances where the timeline of asset transfers and property deals appears to be misaligned with what fans publicly promised or expected, prompting accusations that the process was orchestrated to benefit a select few rather than reflecting an honest, collective decision-making process. These talks frequently refer to previous programs in which fights over money and property were aired, implying that the seeds of this scandal were laid long before the current claims surfaced. Observers point out that Robyn's father's involvement may have been subtle at first, manifesting in behind-the-scenes meetings and private conversations that were never intended for public consumption. But in a reality TV environment where every gesture is scrutinized, even the smallest actions can be interpreted as evidence of a larger conspiracy. Some fans, in particular, point out that the property division appears to coincide with times when the family was under significant external pressure, whether due to financial setbacks, legal challenges, or internal strife, and argue that during these times, a trusted elder figure's advice may have been used to justify decisions that ultimately resulted in disproportionate outcomes. Furthermore, the dispute is not limited to a particular property or transaction. Rather, it is part of a long-standing pattern in which the allocation of assets such as real estate, vehicles, and other important investments has aroused disagreement among the audience. This pattern, they argue, indicates a systemic flaw with the family's approach to money management, one in which conventional hierarchies and current economic realities meet in ways that many regard as intrinsically unfair. Critics of the current arrangement argue that Robyn's father's alleged involvement in these decisions is a betrayal of the egalitarian ideals that the family once claimed to uphold, and that the pressures of fame and the insatiable demands of reality TV have turned what should have been a collaborative process into one dominated by hidden agendas and personal biases. These viewers' fury stems from a broader dissatisfaction with the show's representation of family togetherness and mutual support, as they believe the narrative of equality and shared responsibility has been damaged by actions that appear to prioritize legacy and lineage over merit and need. Some even argue that the unfair property division is a microcosm of a larger trend in which personal power and financial security take precedence over the family's collective well-being, a trend that is both disturbing and emblematic of the challenges that non-traditional families face in a modern, media-saturated society. The ensuing debates have become a battleground for opposing interpretations of what fairness means in the context of a complex family structure, with one camp arguing that certain imbalances are justified by the natural hierarchy of family leadership, while another camp insists that all members be treated equitably, regardless of age or influence. In this light, Robyn's father is viewed not only as a family elder, but also as a symbol of a bygone era of patriarchal decision-making that is increasingly at odds with modern expectations of transparency and equality. Furthermore, the topic has been exacerbated by the fact that property distribution is a particularly sensitive issue on reality television, where financial success and stability are frequently cited as indicators of personal worth and familial validity. The perception that one family member is abusing their position to gain advantages for themselves or their favored descendants resonates strongly with viewers, who are quick to draw parallels between on-screen narratives and broader societal issues such as wealth inequality, nepotism, and power abuse. In numerous online discussions, fans have dissected every available clip and interview in search of clues that might confirm or refute the theory that Robyn's father engineered the property split in a way that favored certain outcomes. While definitive evidence remains elusive, the accumulation of circumstantial details has only served to bolster the suspicions of those who believe that justice was not served in the asset division. These hypotheses are bolstered by retrospective examinations of previous instances, in which periods of stress and conflict over money were frequently glossed over or settled in ways that appear to have benefited those in positions of power. As a result, the story of an unfair property division has taken on a life of its own, becoming a symbol of all that is wrong with the modern portrayal of family life on reality TV. In this story, Robyn Brown's father is portrayed as the unseen puppet master, whose subtle manipulations have set the stage for a financial arrangement that leaves some family members feeling marginalized and resentful, calling into question the authenticity of the relationships depicted in the show. Whether these allegations are the result of a deliberate attempt to prioritize personal gain over family unity, or the unfortunate byproduct of a system that is ill-equipped to handle the complexities of modern asset management in a highly public environment, is a source of heated debate. What is evident, however, is that the property division debate has touched a chord with fans, many of whom believe that the ideals of fairness and mutual support have been sacrificed on the altar of tradition and power. This perception is exacerbated by the pervasive influence of producers and network executives, who are frequently accused of shaping the family's story to maximum dramatic tension and viewer engagement, even if it involves distorting or downplaying uncomfortable facts. In the end, the debate over whether Robyn Brown's father is responsible for an unfair property division encapsulates a larger struggle within sister wives itself, a struggle to reconcile the promises of equality and shared sacrifice with the realities of power dynamics, financial pressures, and the relentless demands of a media environment that is quick to expose and even amplify internal contradictions. It is a contentious issue that, regardless of how it is resolved, forces viewers to confront uncomfortable questions about the nature of family, the ethics of financial management, and the extent to which personal loyalties can or should influence decisions that affect a household's collective welfare. As the discussion continues to evolve on social media and in fan communities, the specter of an unfair property division looms large, serving as a stark reminder that behind the polished veneer of reality TV, there exist very real struggles over power, wealth, and the meaning of family unity, a struggle in which every decision, every asset, and every influential voice is subject to intense scrutiny and relentless debate, in a striking display of frustration that encapsulates both personal grievances and a broader critique of the child support system. Cody Brown has repeatedly expressed that he feels the current child support arrangements are being screwed over, a sentiment that not only underscores the turbulent legal and emotional landscape he navigates as a central figure on Sister Wives, but also reflects a deep-seated disillusionment with what he perceives as an inherently flawed system that fails to account for the multifaceted nature of modern family dynamics and his unique role within them. Over the past several seasons, amid ongoing custody disputes and legal battles with his ex-wife Christine, who has pursued custody and retroactive child support for their 14-year-old daughter, Truly, Cody has maintained that the calculations used to determine his financial obligations do not fairly reflect either his actual income, his contributions as a parent, or the true cost of caring for his children, and he argues that the system seems to disregard the nuances of his involvement with his kids, particularly in a context where he contends that his time, efforts, and emotional investments are either overlooked or undervalued in favor of a rigid formula that treats all cases with a one-size-fits-all mentality. Indeed, on camera and in various interviews, he has lamented that the child support framework is structured in such a way that it penalizes him disproportionately, suggesting that the legal parameters under which his support is assessed do not take into consideration the reality that he is, in many ways, being forced into an arrangement that drains his financial resources without providing him the reciprocal benefits of genuine, sustained involvement in his children's lives, a perception that is further exacerbated by the backdrop of his complicated marital history and the shifting alliances within his plural family structure, where his relationships with his ex-wives and current wife, Robyn, have often been marked by public disputes over custody, property, and financial responsibility. Cody contends that while his ex-wife Christine is now leveraging the courts to demand a greater share of his financial output, arguing for retroactive payments and establishing paternity due to technicalities related to his name not appearing on Truly's birth certificate, the child support system, as enforced by the legal apparatus in Utah where these disputes are being adjudicated, seems less concerned with achieving a fair balance between parental responsibilities and more focused on adhering to bureaucratic formulas that may not accurately capture the complexities of his personal situation, thereby leaving him feeling that he is unfairly screwed over by a process that does not account for his actual capacity to contribute or the realities of his day-to-day parenting. This viewpoint is compounded by his frustration over what he sees as an inequitable distribution of responsibilities and financial burdens, where the system appears to ignore the fact that he is not merely a passive financial provider but also a parent who is attempting, albeit imperfectly, to maintain relationships with his children. Relationships that have been strained by years of separation, conflicting loyalties among his various wives, and the inherent challenges of a family structure that defies conventional norms, leading him to argue that the standard formulas for child support payments fail to capture the true cost of parenting in such a multifaceted environment. Furthermore, Cody's criticisms extend to the perceived double standard within the legal system, where he believes that while some ex-partners are able to leverage the system to secure financial support without necessarily contributing to the emotional or practical care of the child, he is left shouldering a disproportionate financial burden despite his efforts to remain involved, a situation that he deems as not only unjust but also unsustainable over the long term, as it forces him to divert resources away from his own family and personal obligations in order to meet the court-mandated payments that he feels are set at an arbitrary level that does not correspond to his current financial reality or the sacrifices he makes in balancing his responsibilities as a parent with those as a public figure constantly scrutinized by fans and media alike. In his public statements, Cody has emphasized that the issue is not simply about the raw numbers or percentages allocated by a legal formula, but about the principle of fairness in how parental contributions are recognized and compensated, a principle that he believes is being systematically undermined by a legal framework that prioritizes a mechanical assessment of income over a more holistic understanding of what it truly means to support a child in a complex, evolving family unit, where factors such as custody arrangements, the quality and frequency of contact, and even the geographic challenges posed by living arrangements across state lines should play a significant role in determining a fair level of support. Indeed, his contention is that the current system fails to recognize that his relationship with his daughter truly, and with his other children in general, is not defined solely by the number of days they spend together or by a static measure of financial input, but rather by the quality of the interaction, the mutual responsibilities shared between parent and child, and the often overlooked sacrifices that come with trying to maintain a connection under less than ideal circumstances, especially when legal battles and media scrutiny further complicate what should be a fundamentally personal matter. This ongoing dispute has not only fueled public debate among Sister Wives fans, many of whom have taken sides in the broader conversation about parental rights and financial obligations in non-traditional families, but has also served as a catalyst for a wider discussion about the adequacy of existing child support laws in addressing the realities of modern, plural family systems where the lines between legal, emotional, and financial responsibilities are blurred by factors that traditional legal models were never designed to accommodate, and where a rigid application of outdated formulas can result in outcomes that feel deeply inequitable to those who are caught in the crossfire. As Cody navigates this fraught legal landscape, his insistence that the child support system is screwing him over is not merely a cry of personal grievance but a pointed critique of a judicial process that, in his view, is out of step with the complexities of contemporary family life, a life that involves not only the distribution of income and financial responsibilities but also the negotiation of relationships, the balancing of emotional commitments, and the challenge of forging a sustainable path forward in a world where public opinion, media narratives, and legal mandates collide in ways that often leave little room for nuance or fairness. His perspective, as articulated in various interviews and on-camera confessions, reflects a deep-seated belief that the current arrangements for child support are symptomatic of a broader systemic failure, one that neglects to account for the unique challenges faced by individuals like him who straddle the worlds of public scrutiny and deeply personal family struggles, and that ultimately result in a punitive financial structure that does not incentivize, but rather penalizes, efforts to maintain a meaningful parental presence amid the inevitable fallout from contentious custody battles and fractured family relationships. In essence, Cody's assertion that he feels screwed over by the child support system is emblematic of a larger, more pervasive dissatisfaction with how legal and financial institutions are ill-equipped to address the intricacies of modern parenting in non-traditional families, a dissatisfaction that resonates with a segment of the population that sees in his case a microcosm of the broader challenges facing contemporary society, where rigid bureaucratic procedures often fail to capture the dynamic, multifaceted nature of human relationships and the genuine complexities involved in raising children in an era marked by shifting social norms, economic pressures, and the relentless demands of public life, all of which conspire to create an environment where the ideals of fairness and equity are frequently sacrificed at the altar of convenience and administrative efficiency, leaving individuals like Cody Brown to bear the brunt of a system that, in his own words, screws over those who are trying to do their best in an imperfect world, a sentiment that continues to fuel both his personal battle in the courts and the impassioned debates among fans and critics who see his plight as reflective of a deeper, systemic problem that calls for a re-evaluation of how we define and enforce financial responsibility in the context of modern family dynamics.